Morning. Good morning. Today is Friday, June 19th, and we will be reading 2 Kings 12 and 13.
All right. 12 and 13. Do you have 12? Nathaniel, do you have 12? You do? Where's it at? 12 and then 13. All right. Y'all ready? Thumbs up. Everyone, we have a thumbs up. All right. It looks dark. I know why. No, I've got the light right behind me. There we go. Yeah, I got an idea. Let's read. Have more light bulbs go off.
Jehoash repairs the temple. In the 7th year of Jehoash became king. He reigned 40 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Zibiah of Beersheba. Jehoash did what was right in the sight of the Lord all his days, because Jehoiada the priest instructed him. However, the high places were not taken away. The people still sacrificed and made offerings in the high places. Now Jehoash said to the priests, all the consecrated money that is brought into the house of the Lord, the money for which each man is currently assessed, and all the money that is brought voluntarily to the house of the Lord, let the priests receive it, each from his donor, and repair the damages to the house, wherever damages are found. But in the 23rd year of King Jehoash, the priests had not repaired the damages to the house. Then King Jehoash called for Jehoiada the priest, and another priest said to them, why have you not repaired the damages to the house? So now money will no longer be taken from your donors. You will give it over for the damages to the house. The priests agreed that they should take no more money from the people, nor repair the damages of the house. So Jehoiada the priest took a chest, made a hole in its lid, and set it beside the altar on the right side as one enters the house of the Lord. The priest guarding the threshold put there all the money that was brought into the house of the Lord. Whenever they saw that there was much money in the chest, the king's scribe and the high priest went up, emptied it, and counted the money that was found in the house of the Lord. They gave the money that was weighed out into the hands of the workers who were appointed to the house of the Lord. Then they paid it out to the carpenters and the builders working on the house of the Lord, to the masons and the stone cutters, and to buy timber and cut stone to repair the damages to the house of the Lord. That is whatever went out for repairs to the house. But for the house of the Lord, silver bowls, snuffers, sprinkling basins, trumpets, and all the gold and silver vessels were not made with any of the money that was brought up into the house of the Lord, for they gave it to the workmen, and they repaired the house of the Lord with it. They did not settle accounts with the men in whose hand they gave the money to give to the workmen, for they dealt faithfully. The money from the guilt offerings and the money from the sin offerings were not brought into the house of the Lord. It belonged to the priests. Hazael threatens Jerusalem. Then Hazael, king of Aram, went up, fought against Gath, and seized it. Then Hazael set his face to go up to Jerusalem. So Jehoash, king of Judah, took all the consecrated things that Jehoshaphat, Jehoram, and Asaiah, his fathers, kings of Judah, had dedicated, and his own consecrated things, all the gold that was found in the treasures of the house of the Lord, and in the king's house, and set it to Hazael, king of Aram. Then Hazael went away from Jerusalem. The death of Jehoash. Now the rest of the deeds of Jehoash and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Judah? His servants rose up, made a conspiracy, and struck Jehoash in the house of Milo, which goes down to Silla. Jehozabad, the son of Shimeath, and
Jehozabad. Okay.
Jehozabad, the son of Shimeath, and Jehozabad, the son of Shomer, his servant, struck him, and he died. They buried him with his fathers in the city of David. Then Amaziah, his son, reigned in his place. Jehoash, king of Israel. In the 23rd year of Jehoash, the son of Asaiah, king of Judah, Jehoash the son of Jehu reigned over Israel and Samaria for 17 years. He did evil in the sight of the Lord and followed the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who caused Israel to sin. He did not turn aside from them. The anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, so he gave them into the hand of Hazael king of Aram, and into the hand of Ben-Hadad the son of Hazael all their days. But Jehoaz appeased the Lord, and the Lord listened to him. For he saw the oppression of Israel, because the king of Aram oppressed them. So the Lord gave Israel a savior, so they got out from under the hand of Aram. Then the children of Israel dwelt in their tents as before. Nevertheless, they did not turn aside from the sins of the house of Jeroboam, who caused Israel to sin, but walked into them. The Asherah pole also stood in Samaria. So Jehoahaz had only 50 horsemen, 10 chariots, and 10,000 footmen left, for the king of Aram had destroyed them and made them like the dust at threshing. Now the rest of the deeds of Jehoaz and all that he did and his power, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? And Jehoaz slept with his fathers, and they buried him in Samaria. Jehoash his son, Joash his son, reigned in his place. Jehoash king of Israel, in the 37th year of Joash king of Judah, Jehoash the son of Jehoahaz reigned over Israel and Samaria for 16 years. He did evil in the sight of the Lord. He did not turn aside from all the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who caused Israel to sin, but he walked in them. The rest of the deeds of Joash, all that he did, and his power with which he fought against Amaziah king of Judah, are they not written in the book of the annals of the kings of Israel? So Joash slept with his fathers, and Jeroboam sat on his throne. Joash was buried in Samaria with the kings of Israel. The death of Elisha. Now Elisha had become sick with the illness of which he would die. So Joash, the king of Israel, went down to him and wept before him and said, my father, the chariot of Israel and its horsemen. Elisha said to him, take a bow and arrows. So he took a bow and arrows. Then he said to the king of Israel, draw the bow. So he drew it. Elisha put his hands on the king's hands. Then he said, open the east window. So he opened it. Then Elisha said, shoot. So he shot. Then he said, the arrow of the deliverance of the Lord and the arrow of deliverance from Aram, for you must strike Aram in effect until you have destroyed them. Then he said, take the arrows. So he took them. Then he said to the king of Israel, strike the ground. So he struck it 3 times and stood there. Then the man of God was angry with them and said, you should have struck it 5 or 6 times. Then you would have stricken Aram until you have finished them. Now you will strike Aram just 3 times. So Elisha died, and they buried him. Now Moabite raiders would enter the land in the spring. As they were burying the man, they saw raiders, so they threw the man into the tomb of Elisha. When the man touched the bones of Elisha, he came to life and stood on his feet. Israel recaptures cities from Aram. Now Hazael, king of Aram, oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoash, but the Lord was gracious to them and had compassion on them. He turned toward them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not yet destroy them or cast them from his presence. Then Hazael, king of Aram, died, and Ben-Hadad his son reigned in his place. And Jehoash, the son of Joash, took back the cities from Ben-Hadad, the son of Hazael, that he had been taken from Jehoahaz, his father, in war. 3 times Joash struck them and recovered the cities of Israel.
All right. She needs to go to the bathroom. All right. And that is 2 Kings. And this is real life. We don't cut it. We keep it as is. So that's 2 Kings 12 and 13. Bye. Have a great day.
Subscribe, like this video, like or comment.
Bye.